Hi, good afternoon. How is everyone? I thought today we would talk about the six-sided star, the Star of David. I had a conversation with someone and we were talking about this, and I thought this would make a great video. So let's get started. I also made a few little footnotes because we're going to talk about these things, and there's that Star of David. You can see it with the little circles inside of it. So why do I have circles inside of the Star of David? If you know, at certain times I had mentioned that Gaia is a cosmic egg and that she's not the only one. So what I have further seen is that the Star of David is a depiction of cosmic eggs, and basically we're in the middle. So how does this work with this Star of David, this pattern? I don't know what else to call it. Looks like when I was talking to someone, they were talking about going from one, you go through the middle and go to another one, and then go through the middle and go to another one, and it goes this way all the way around. But the pattern is go through the middle. Gaia is in the middle. So you'd have to ask yourself, if you wanted to control all of this and get all those beings gathered up in one area, what are you going to do strategically? Well, this is why Gaia was shattered in the middle, because all of these other cosmic eggs, eventually the beings go to the middle to traverse to another one. Just look at this as a big scheme of soul development, if you want to call it that, from being outside of the void coming into the archon. Now, I always talk about Gaia being shattered, and it's like a snowflake. She's like a huge snowflake with all these other worlds, are parallel worlds that look just like Gaia, but shattered into fractals. So when you're coming from another cosmic egg into this, it is the trap. And because it's been shattered and it got the reincarnation scheme going, it was the trap to keep the beings from leaving. Well, of course, she's pulling herself back together, which is the frequency. Just imagine Gaia in the shape of a snowflake with a million different parallel realities, and we, or a part of us, a shard of us, is in most of those realities. Well, we don't have that many realities anymore because our timelines are starting to merge now. And with the merging of the timelines, she's pulling herself back together again. And with that, becoming a complete being. And we are also becoming a complete being. That's all of a sudden you know everything, blah, 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 blah. So this whole thing was done basically as a spider web to ensnare all the beings coming in from the different cosmic eggs. It's quite a scheme. Horrible, of course, done by negative forces. So I was also looking at the Star of David and noticed that it is absolutely a Merkabah body. So below, so above, so below kind of thing. And with that Merkabah body, I was also realizing that our pyramids were designed off of that Merkabah body. When you make a pyramid, it makes a metaphysical pyramid in the other direction going down. So everything is based off of this Star of David Merkabah body in this entire reality sim. Everything is mathematic, angles, shapes, and they all have meanings. So I thought that was rather interesting too. I do know that when I look at this entire scheme of how this was designed, that it was literally designed that in these outer cosmic eggs is a higher frequency reality. And when this entire sim was created for the lower entities to raise their vibration, we would naturally go from like here to here, and then back here, and then back to here. This realm was created because it is a more physical, tangible reality where you can experience negativity, although it should never have been brought down to the lowest of the low. It should have been a balance. And of course, that is completely undone and came out of balance, which is why it had to change in this reality. Very interesting. Also, I was looking at the grid above and the grid below with this Merkabah body, the Ley Lines. When I had a conversation with somebody, they were telling me something very interesting, so I looked into it. And yeah, you know the depiction of the guy with the spear slaying a dragon? Well, what it looks like to me is that the dragon represented the ley lines, the energy, the frequency that everything runs on, the one above, the grid above, and the grid below. And the slaying of it was the destruction of the ley lines, so the negativity could take a bigger foothold by taking away an energetic grid which complemented everything that lived with inside of that grid, which was us, nature, animals, everything, water, what have you. So when the dragon was slayed, our reality was slayed along with it. So very interesting on that too. No one knows what the truth actually is on any mythology. We have to unravel them and realize that every myth has truth behind it, even as bizarre as it is. Most people are so indoctrinated, they'll do what they're told to do, what they're told to believe. They will never come out of that box. Of course, unfortunately. It's time for everyone to stand up, speak their truth, look outside of the box, start thinking outside of the box. It is good to have others to bounce your ideas off and on of, but in the end, you have to be the motion. You have to be the maker. It has to be what you think. You can only garner on things that make sense to you. Really, no one should be dictating to you how you should think. Think for yourself. Think out of the box. Come up with your own conclusions. Be the unique individual you were always designed to be. So, very interesting. I also wanted to talk about these two women. They were given to me this last week, and I did watch both of their videos. One is Kim Goguen, and I watched her. When you guys watch anything I give you, I'm just letting you know the information is out there. You will have to come to your own conclusions on everything you watch, just as I do. So I'm looking at her going, well, some of it sounds plausible. And then the rest, well, we'll just see. Kim Goguen is supposedly to be the representative of this reality, I guess. So actually what I'm seeing is that is a small portion. Small. But we'll see. And then the other one is Marina Jacoby. Now, she did something on the monetary money system, but in the etheric, and I thought that was very interesting. To me, it is manifesting. We have the ability within us when we get to a certain stage to be able to manifest, and she's basically talking about this. She is very scientific, I guess you could say that, whereas everything from me comes from what I see in layman's terms, because I'm not an expert in any field. What is that? I'm not an expert in any field, but I'm a jack of all trades. I know a little bit of everything. So hers was very interesting, this Marina Jacoby. I will start watching her. I found her very likable. I really just gravitated toward her. So I'll post her in my description also. It was very interesting about the heart center being the ability to manifest through her monetary etheric system. So cool. I really recommend you see that one. As far as the Star of David, I see many paralleling lines going to this the 7 cosmic eggs inside of this reality sim. Let me add that in there too. Because, everything has a structure. So very interesting. I do see that when people talk about Jesus or what have you, I'm not a big follower of any single being, of course not, but it's an aspect of holding the higher resignation, or I don't know what you'd call it. It's where you vibrate to. There are many Jesuses, and what that is it's a cross between garnered knowledge, love, understanding, compassion, etc., 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 on the higher vibrational realities. What you doing? Cats. So I did also want to talk about things that are happening in our reality. And one right now is a big one. It's about the weather. You know that there's a thing called HARP. And there's HARP on wheels, and they manipulate our weather. Right now, they're trying to manipulate our weather with, of course, artificial tsunamis, artificial tornadoes, artificial storms, or hurricanes, artificial whatever. Just know it's all artificial. And artificial volcanic eruptions and artificial earthquakes, and everything's artificial. And the reason for this is the distraction. So you will get out of the political arena. You will get out of finding out that we are at war with a human genocide agenda happening to us, and trying to change the subject. So they're trying to change the subject with severe weather. Just know that's what that's about. All this severe weather is, don't look over here, look over there. It's quite something. Let me see what else I was going to talk about. My mind's blank again. I have all these things I want to talk about, and then when I go to record, it's like, what was I going to talk about again? Just out of my head, which is why I went ahead and made the little list as it is. But yeah, I also know that in our reality, with the inversion of absolutely everything, our history, you name it, we've also had an inversion of thought patterns and words. I had heard some young people talking, and they were talking, it looked like they really enjoyed something, and they said, oh man, that's so sick. It's like, sick? What the hell? The inversion of even words. It's really pathetic. And I'm hearing this from younger people where they'll say something, and the reason we have these words to begin with is because they are exactly what they're supposed to be. If I say something is sick, it's not doing well. I don't mean it's the best of the best. I mean it's not doing well at all. Just like this reality, what an inversion. Anyway, I digress. So I'm learning new people. Of course, this Kim Goguen and Marina Jacoby. I was so glad that somebody gave me them. I'm sure there's other people that have suggested to me other things to watch. I really haven't been spending a lot of time in cyber world, so me getting to know more people is very limited. I pick and choose what I really do watch. But I thought it was really interesting about the Star of David and how that all works. And truly interesting. I will say this too. I've been asked a couple questions about this, so I'm going to address this now. What's going to happen with the red skies? When is our doomsday coming? I will tell you this. We're in the timeline split, and it's starting to do this now. Okay? So we have the negative and we have the positive. The people that are on the positive, which is a higher frequency, can now and have been able to see the negative line extremely easily. And what I mean is, it's not that they're above, we're still with, it's the veil has lifted for these people, and they see the dark agendas. Now, the dark agendas and the people on and matching this timeline cannot see what's going on around them. They cannot see the trees through the forest, unfortunately. These people can see all of that. And more people are waking up to the higher timeline. Now, the people that are on the higher timeline, when those red skies come, will not feel the effect of what these people on the negative timeline will feel. It will be already a different reality for them. We will have stepped off into the new earth, which is already here, because it's just splitting the frequencies. And we will not experience the whole dreaded end. It'll be a new beginning. And I've said this a couple of times, so let me make this very clear. If you are on the higher timeline, when those red skies come, it'll be a beautiful thing to witness, but there'll be no devastation and destruction for you. It's a whole different reality for the ones on the lower timeline. They're the ones that are going to feel the horrificness of that reality pretty much being destroyed. It's horrible. So if you're already on the timeline where you can see this stuff, you've already made the step over. You will not be on that timeline. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew this, so they're not all, oh my gosh, it's going to end in horribleness and explosion and we're all going to die. No. You have already stepped up to the higher frequency. That's not going to happen for you. I can't say that for them. No, absolutely not. Because there is the inevitable breakaway. As Gaia goes along and starts collecting and repairing herself in her egg, it's like broken glass, and those are the shards. Even though she's still a whole unit, she still has the self-repair inside. And with her self-repairing inside, so do we. It's identical. So that's us pulling our shards together, and other aspects of you are coming back into you. All of a sudden, you know this, you know that. You don't know why, you just do. And you can see through this, and you can see through that. But also when collecting the shards, if you're not on the higher vibration, you will become more whole. But you will not be able to stay in the higher reality. Your frequencies simply won't match. You can't stay. You'll blow apart. It's just not going to happen for you. I suggest everyone, to the best of their ability, raise your vibration. Stand up. Don't be oppressed. Everyone is unique and individual, and be that unique individual voice that says something out. Because the more we do, the faster the split will go. And I'm ready for this split to be gone. I'm ready for my new, better reality. We all are. So, maybe not all of us. The dark ones aren't. So, on that note too, I do know that the Medbeds will be a big one. We'll have two scenarios going on. The ones that are on the lower agenda, the lower timeline, when the Medbeds come out, they will not do anything about it. So the ones that are having the bioweapon regret can be basically put back to ground zero in their genetic makeup. So the spike proteins can be reversed through frequency, and they can definitely detox and use the Medbeds and be better than they ever were before. Now, the ones that won't do it, of course, it's because it's a mind war here. And if they choose not to do something to detox or go to the Medbeds, that is a choice of also the frequency that you're on. If for any given reason you stand by what you have done to yourself and you stay in that frequency, you're not making this. And I've said a lot of us won't make this because we never did. Because this is, after all, a redo. So back to that again. If you're lost, please go watch previous videos. I'm also on Odyssey because, you know, my last video was taken down. Because I was talking about things that are forbidden, which all of this is going to change anyway. It has to, because of the timeline we are on. It won't be able to stand either. So know that the media mafia will no longer be standing. They will be taken out one by one. The house of cards is crumbling. Oh, yes, it is. What is that? It's like Alice in Wonderland, down with the queen, off with her head. So, there we go. There's that. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. I still have to go back and answer some of my comments from my last video, even though it was on Odyssey. Like I said, I've been staying out of cyber world. I'm just not in there like I used to be. Everyone's self-centered. All the answers are within you. Go within to go without to find all of your answers. Okay, on that note, I guess everyone have a great day, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.